Timothy's father was a Greek though.
Okay.
When you go into this word right here, Greek, go into and look it up in the Greek, it's Hellenist. You know what a Hellenist is?
No.
Greek-speaking Jew.
A Greek-speaking Jew. That's what you're getting caught up with.
Well, I'll get that definition right now.
Okay.
And then can somebody get that in 2 Maccabees, where they were forced to call themselves Gentiles and
2
Greeks?
Maccabees 6 and 1.
I'm gonna look up that word, Greek, right now.
But like we were saying, it's a Greek-speaking Jew. So yeah, he was a Greek, but he was a Greek-speaking Jew. He was a Jew that spoke
6 and 2.
It's like basically saying, let's just say I started speaking Spanish. A lot of people will probably think I'm Dominican or something like that, but I'm just speaking the language. Or Puerto Rican. You know what I mean? I'm just speaking their language. Right, so that, when you're talking about the Jew first, yeah, something? He's talking about the Jew first, and when you bring that out, but the Jew first, and then the Gentile. Then the Gentile.
Timothy, Victoria, Timothy.
This is 2 Maccabees.
1 and 16.
2 Maccabees, you want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
6 and what? 2?
I think it's
2? Or starting with 1?
6 and, yeah, you can start there, right?
Not long after this is 2 Maccabees 6 and 1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of God, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympius, and that in garrison of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire to dwell in that place, in the place. And the coming of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people.
Right.
For the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who daily with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy
They
places.
were sleeping with women in the temple. Go ahead.
And besides that, brought in all things that were not lawful.
Okay.
And the altar also was filled with profane things, with the law forbiddeth.
Right.
Neither.
They were sacrificing, pig's flesh on the altar, everything that was abominable.
And that was the real Edomites. So the Greek, the true Macedonian Greeks,
show it to them
they were the
after,
most, they were Edomites.
Yeah.
But then they got Jakes that were Helen that were speaking.
Right.
That's what we're going to go into.
It's the important part coming up.
Verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath days of ancient feasts, or to profess himself to all to be a Jew.
Read that again.
Neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath days.
So this king Antiochus, he made it so these Jews, the Jews that were in this land, they couldn't.
Neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath days.
They couldn't keep the Sabbath, so they had to do stuff on the Sabbath. They had to work.
Or ancient feasts,
Feast of Tabernacles,
or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
So you couldn't even call yourself a
Let you
Jew.
guys read.
Of the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, Levi.
So that's why you have something called Greeks, and you're thinking that they were actually Greeks or Grecians, but they were Jews, man.
They were
They
Israelites.
said they couldn't call themselves Jews, and they get killed, man.
Get 1 Maccabees, the first chapter, when they got a license, they got a license to become a Gentile.
Right. And that's why today, that's why in Ireland, what are most of those Irish in Boston and New York? They carry statues.
So I
You know that? No. Have you been out east? Well, they're really into statue worshiping Virgin Mary, Joseph, all the saints. Just like the Sicilians, Neapolitans, all your southern Italians, they always have the biggest feast in the East Coast are from the Italian. Why? Those are the Hellenists. Those are from they're actually from the tribe of Judah.
I'm not leaving.
Those Italians, but they speak a different language because they went into the
I
world.
gotta get his number.
Now the Negroes, after
I want him to
70
meet
AD,
Josh.
when the Romans went
Josh
to
is my
Jerusalem,
Hebrew.
they went into the west coast of Africa.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's where they went
Jerusalem?
into the slave
Break
trade.
down Jerusalem.
Those are
You got
the Negroes,
USA.
the ones from
Look at
Jerusalem.
the word Jerusalem.
So those
USA
Jews that are in
right
Israel today, those are not
Oh,
Negroes.
Jerusalem,
Those are the
Right, yeah, see? Tell him that.
Now,
All right.
I'm pretty sure you understand it, right?
Yeah.
Jerusalem. It's more of a modern Jerusalem.
Yeah.
The Israelites are here.
Yeah.
Real
Revelations 2 and 9. I know that word.
Some Hebrew Israelites don't believe that the Indians and Spanish. Some of them don't.
Are you going to Revelation 2 now?
we're out here every Saturday and Sunday. Just come down and
Basically, what it's going to go into is how that the Jews that are calling themselves Jews right now are not actually the Jews, and the Most High knows them. Read that out.
Revelations 2 and 9. I know that word. And that
All right.
tribulation.
Want to break that down? It says, I know thy works, in tribulation. Tribulation is hard times.
We're having that hard time.
Right.
Those are the real Israelites. We're not sitting on thrones.
Yeah.
We're going to be sitting on thrones soon.
And
Right
poverty.
now, we're in poverty.
Poverty. Like your brother just said, poverty.
We're living in poverty.
But thou art rich.
He said, but thou art rich. How are we rich? Ain't talking about physically, with monetary money. Exactly.
And knowing this truth.
And I know the blasphemy of them who say they are Jews and are not.
He said, I know the blasphemy of them that say they are Jews and are not. Are blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, are they calling
So do we try to turn this off or
Matter
what?
of fact,
Keep
you
that
see
one.
a black guy that comes to you like, hey, I'm a Jew. He's like, playing around, man? Are you serious? And that's how I get, I walk around with this and they say, you're not a Jew, are you? You're not the real Jew. And I said, I'm not Jewish, I'm a Jew. Because Jewish-ish means pertaining to. Like you may have black, you have black-ish or noon-ish. I mean, it's not quite there, you know what I mean? But it's almost there. So that's why they call themselves Jewish. They're not Jews. Go ahead.
I know the blasphemy of them who say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
You know what synagogue means?
I don't know, temple.
It means chief house.
And who are in those houses today? Who are in the
Who else
synagogues?
is in synagogues? Jews? Jewish?
So-called Jews.
So-called Jews.
That's why they have the language Yiddish and all this. They slanged out the real. If King David came today,
Right.
he wouldn't even understand what the hell they were saying.
Right.
Because
That's not real Hebrew.
the language that we're bringing out, the Lashon Kadash,
Right.
we're writing and spelling and speaking in the real Hebrew,
Right.
which is called the Lashon Kadash, which means the holy tongue.
Right.
And that's coming back today. That's what
language.
That's a pure language. You got Mexicans, you got Negroes, you got Hellenists. They're all learning this language because God is bringing. Shalom. I'll call you when I get home. That's why the Most High is bringing all the 12 tribes together, and we're learning this language. Like if you're true Israelites in the spirit,
Not saying you're not. You may be.
you're going to come out here and preach the word,
Right.
preach the gospel, not to be in a house or being at church. That has nothing to do with it. God commands us to be out here and labor and put in work, and that's what we're doing. And other brothers, we're not the only one. We got camps all over the country,
Yeah, this is worldwide.
and they bring out this truth. Can't even count how many camps there are. But these are you gotta labor. Go on, brother.
Fear none of these things which thou hast suffered. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. 3 and 9. Revelations 3 and 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not,
They're not Jews. They're not the real Jews.
but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet.
So the ones that's calling themselves Jews, they're actually going to worship before our feet, the elect. And ultimately Israel when we're in the kingdom.
He won't bring out.
And I want to bring up one more thing, man. I still want to get that all you're talking about. Go to Daniel 2 and 44.
And I'm going to bring that. But he's looking for that. This is Revelations 21 and 12, where he says we were talking about the nations if they're going to be in this. It says, and he had a wall great and high and had 12 gates. And at the gates 12 angels and the names written thereon, where are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. It doesn't say there's many gates for everybody. He says straight up in Revelation 21 at the end of the book, he says the 12 gates, and they have 12 names of the children of Israel. It's only for the 12 tribes. And we can get in a minute. We could be out here for hours. We'll just keep on bringing more scriptures to you. But you got to go and look them up to really have the understanding. Go out.
Got room for one more scripture? I know you probably got to go.
Yeah, we gotta get rolling.
Daniel 2 and 44. And in the days of these kings,
This is a prophecy that Daniel seen in a dream. Go ahead.
and in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed.
He's going to set up a kingdom that's never going to be destroyed. Okay?
And the kingdom shall not be left to other people.
It said the kingdom shall not be left to other people. Now we know Israel's going to be in there with a lot of his inheritance. So it said it shall not be left to other people. So how are you going to gather everybody? You got people that's not even going to have any partaking.
Okay, but it still says that he went out and gathered them all, good and bad.
He's talking about
Yeah, good and bad. That's what we're trying to tell you. Good and bad of Israel. That's why we talk about the 2/3.
why
But even if you broke down that segment of scripture, I guarantee you it doesn't say a select group. It says all.
Oh, John 4:20.
It's Matthew.
He told that woman had nothing.
I got a better thing.